Hello, church family. It's 2 Minute Tuesday. In my devotions, I'm reading the book of Numbers. Numbers covers the middle of Israel's journey from Egypt to the Promised Land. For the Israelites, the Exodus is far enough in the past that the miracles are starting to fade from memory. And the Promised Land is far enough in the future that the wilderness is starting to feel as though it's going to last forever. God's people are tired and they're stressed, and they finally hit their limit. We're told they wail. We have lost our appetite. We never see anything but this manna and this wilderness. Complaint becomes a steady refrain, a wilderness playlist. Now, in the past, I've read these accounts critically. I've judged the Israelites. I thought, after all God did for them, after all the miracles they witnessed, how could they possibly complain? Now I'm in the middle of my own wilderness journey, and I'm a little more sympathetic. We're all in the middle of a wilderness journey. For all of us, it's been a year since COVID became a reality. It's been a year of lockdowns and letdowns, limitations and losses. Life as we knew it is behind us, and the promised land of a new normal is still some ways off in the future. So as God's people today, how do we live fully and faithfully in the wilderness? We do so through three practices. First, we grieve. God justifiably condemns complaint, but there's a difference between complaint and grief. Complaint says, I refuse to accept what God has given. Grief says, I accept what God has given, but it's hard, and I'm sad. We can't progress on our wilderness journey until we give voice to our grief. Second, we give thanks. The Israelites were so focused on what they didn't have that they were blind to what God gave. God freed them, God fed them, God miraculously led them. What has God done to free and to feed and to lead us during COVID? What evidence do we have of God's grace and God's glory right in front of us? We give thanks for what God gives. Third and finally, we glorify God. Complaint offends God because it accuses God. Complaint says God is not good. Complaint says God is not great enough to bring good out of the wilderness. As God's faithful people, even when life feels bad, we expect God to do good because we insist that God is good. Now, every year, after they settled in the Promised Land, the ancient Israelites reenacted their wilderness journey through pilgrimages to Jerusalem. They even had a pilgrimage playlist, the Songs of Ascent, or Psalms 120 through 134. Psalm 126 says this, "The Lord has done great things for us, and we are filled with joy. Restore our fortunes, Lord, like streams in the desert. Those who sow with tears will reap with songs of joy." Make this your COVID anniversary playlist. Let's make this our wilderness playlist. The Lord has done great things. The Lord will restore our fortunes. The Lord will replace our tears with songs of joy. Grieve, give thanks, and glorify God because God is good.